What's up, everybody? I'm back. Another movie review. And this is of the final of the most recent, I should say, of the four Shrek movies. Shrek Forever After. And right off the bat, you call it Forever After and you don't use the number 4. How? How do you not do that? Come on. But this was released, I believe, in 2010. Fact check me on that. I think it was 2010. I say it for now was the final of the 4 movies because there was a rumored 5th one to be coming out. I believe that got canceled, but it may come back. We don't quite. I can't quite. I'm not going to say for sure in either direction that it will come back or it won't. Who knows at this point? I mean, everything. We're just along for the ride at this point. So, whatever. This movie though was the only one of the 4 that I had never seen before in full. I had seen part of it, but I had never seen it in full. And it was kind of forgotten. Like, I almost kind of forgot they exist. Nobody talks about it, right? And after seeing it, I could see why nobody talks about it. It's not as bad as Shrek third. I'd rank it about third in the Shrek movie lineup. Pretty definitive third. I mean, a lot of things could be better than Shrek the third, but I think they're very far from the first 2 movies. Because what it is Shrek, again, being lazy and not wanting to deal with his family anymore, having anger issues. So he signs a scammy contract and gets sent back and gets erased from all existence and has 24 hours to try and fix everything. And by just a sliver, gets it. And this movie, I think, portrays very well the effects children can have on a marriage. I'm not a dad. I'm not even married. But it was very realistic, I could say. But I guess the majority of the movie, I mean, the villain was cringe. Okay, I'm going to say this right now. This was the worst villain out of the 3. Okay, even Shrek the Third's villain I thought was better than this guy. He didn't even have any like special powers. He makes you sign a contract, and he's pretty much just like a corporate business guy, like a sketchy businessman who's trying to sell you something, only just scam you out of like $10 million. That's what it is, except it's magic and fairy tales and stuff like that. So you get alternate reality and stuff like that. That's all it is. That's all it is. That can't be all it is. And by the 4th movie, it gets pretty repetitive. What the anecdote for this is, the antidote to this, and that's a kiss. Like, I know it's a fairy tale, right? But can all 4 of your movies not be solved? Can your entire franchise not just be solved by a kiss? Like, I know you want lovey-dovey fairy tale finishes and stuff like that, but could you not have picked a better finish? Whatever. There's some good meme references in this one, which I guess was more than the 3rd one. There were more meme references in this one than I thought there were from Shrek. I did not know the 4th movie had so many memes out of it, but it did. There was a good amount of them in this one. As far as the character like structures and developments and stuff like that, I mean, all the characters are altered because of the time changing, except for Shrek. And it's okay. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know how Fiona has the ability to pamper Puss in Boots, even though she's poor and trying to lead a rebellion of the ogres. That doesn't really make any much sense to me. Donkey, it was pretty fitting. I should say. And it was just kind of like this like rebellion party sort of thing, but I mean, it was okay. I mean, I didn't like having the same animation style in 2010. I felt like that's maybe when it starts to get a little bit old. Like Shrek the Third, starting to maybe get a little bit old, but you can ignore it because there's so many other glaring flaws that just mask anything else that would be normally wrong with the movie. Shrek the Forever After, though, you really start to see like, yeah, this is not going to be around much longer, and I don't think this one was really necessary. I thought this could have easily been Shrek the Third instead, especially since they have the kids in the second one, and no, they had the kids in the third one. I feel like they could have squeezed in maybe having the kids at the end of the second movie, and because they had talked about it, and then shit happens, and so they can't. But maybe they could because they had their party. They could cut. There'd be like an end credit scene, make this movie just a little bit longer, had the kids, and then have the third movie play out like the fourth movie, then just get rid of the third movie entirely. Seems like a pretty good deal to me, DreamWorks. You should have went with that. Maybe I should sign a contract to go back in time and rewrite that. Hook me up. I don't remember even what your name is, but you were, because you were that relevant. But you were, and they had a friggin' giant goose. Giant goose. That's classic Shrek funkiness. But it wasn't funny. It was not funny. Very just out there and just very weird. Did not like it. And they kind of, again, like Shrek Third, kind of strayed away from having a lot of music in there. Not a lot of product placements. The memes were pretty good when they were there. No real new character development either. It was kind of just going back and restarting what kind of happened in the first movie, but in a different way. Which is okay, I guess. I guess all it really did was confirm that Fiona and Shrek are in love and deserve to be with each other. Didn't really make anything new, which, I mean, I guess kind of shows that they were kind of out of ideas if they're just kind of rewriting the same things over and over again to try and mask a different results, but try and connect to the same plot points, the same resolution points that they did in the first movie and throughout the rest of the series. I think it's kind of getting old. I think there's a good reason why there's been no Shrek 5 since, and I don't even know what they would do. Like, that's the thing, right? I don't even know what they would do. Like, they didn't... so that would be something that they would have to try and focus on. As far as funniness levels, it was about on the same level as the first one as far as funniness. There was some pretty funny moments, but it wasn't as funny as Shrek 2. But it was funnier than Shrek the Third. I'll say that. It wasn't as cringe. But overall, it's just a pretty forgettable entry into the Shrek franchise. But you know, it's not the worst ending possible to a series. We don't even know if it will be the ending to the series. If there is going to be a Shrek 5, then they're definitely going to wrap it up in that series. The kids are going to go off to college. I think somebody's going to die. Somebody other than an enemy is going to die. And I think this was this the one that Jane Lynch was in, and she got like no lines. How do you get Jane Lynch in a movie with no lines? It's crazy. Well, for my final score, though, I'm probably going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's closer to Shrek the Third than I said the first or second movie, but definitely better than Shrek the Third. So, but if you kind of get the plot points of the first couple of movies, you probably don't need to see this one. It's kind of just reiterating those points, but in a different way, reconfirming those points, I should say. So, but that's it for this movie review, Shrek Forever After. And so stay tuned for much more amazing content and a bunch of other fun stuff. So go marathon Shrek if you want. Really only recommend the first two. But hey, if you want to be like us and endure the third and fourth ones, go right ahead. And again, stay tuned for much more amazing content. Until next time, everybody, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.